Hey guys, what's up? ItZMuRdA here, coming at you with a kind of another current events video. I know I just did one last week, but after MLG Anaheim, we learned some new stuff. I wanted to go over that, and I also wanted to give you a heads up on what's going on with me this week. So I'm going to kind of just wrap that into one video. I know I mentioned a bit of it last week, but I figure we learned some more stuff. We have a bit of a better idea now, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Here on the front page of PlanetSideUniverse.com, PlanetSide-Universe.com, if you weren't already familiar with the website. Great website for all things PlanetSide. You should look at it on a daily basis if you don't. So there's my plug for PSU, because those guys really do deserve it. But anyway, they have the video. I'm sure this is in many other places as well, but Nexus Battle Island was revealed at MLG this weekend, and Xander Klaus talked about it a bit with Maggie on Saturday, I think. So that we got some pretty cool overview of this. I'm not going to play it, but you can check it out on the PSU front page or in many other places on the PlanetSide 2 official YouTube. I'm sure it's up there as well. We got some pretty cool info on it. I know a lot of us are looking to see more of like how it fits in overall, like a top-down view, things like that, because we got bits and pieces of the Battle Island in this video. But nonetheless, the video looks really awesome. It's going to be, I believe, 2x2 as opposed to 8x8, which the current continents are, so a quarter of the size of the current continents, which is still pretty large. I know some people were thinking it was going to be super small, or some people thought that it sounded small even at that, but I think that it's going to be a pretty good size for what they're trying to accomplish. Obviously, it's built for 48v48, one side versus the other, kind of like battlegrounds that you might be familiar with in WoW or whatever, where they try to do like a symmetrical design where there's not too great of imbalance from one side to the other, depending on what side you're starting on. And Klaus had even mentioned that they might do something where they switch up sides just to make sure that they've got, as fair and balanced as possible, MLG, from both sides. But that's the design. I think it looks really awesome, and I'm interested, even aside from MLG, in seeing how it fits into the actual game and getting to fight on them, because I love infantry-focused areas and more like urban type of stuff that's done well. So I have pretty high hopes for it. Like I said, even MLG aside, although I hope MLG works out great for PlanetSide 2, but I do think the Battle Islands would be a nice addition to the game, even if MLG wasn't even on the table. I'm sure we'll learn more about it. It looks like they're definitely going ahead with the 48v48, and there was really no mention of 24v24 or 12v12 like we've heard in the past. So I don't expect to see those sizes until well down the road, when 48v48 probably launches with the Nexus first for MLG. And then over time they'll roll out other battle islands. They made a mention to the ones like Ascension and Desolation and all of that from PlanetSide 1, that they're going to try to mimic different styles at least, and they'll probably just keep doing more and more for this type of stuff. And once we have access to the Nexus, that'll be like the only thing that you see on the War Report and the only thing you see on MLG until more and more battle islands come out. But yeah, I'm really just looking forward to hearing more about it. And I won't bore you with it too much. Check out this video and check out some of the other resources, the VODs from the stream over at twitch.tv/PlanetSide2, if you missed any of the interviews or anything like that this weekend. And I think that's kind of it on the MLG front. I hope to be participating in MLG in some capacity. I don't know 100% yet what that will be. I know the guys that I typically play with aren't going to be able to field a 48-person team. So I've been exploring some options, and hopefully have some news for you guys with that in the coming weeks or months before MLG actually really kicks into high gear for PlanetSide. So other than that, I just wanted to talk about Clegg's Future of PlanetSide segment on Sunday, which I was probably looking forward to more than anything that they had in store over the weekend. And I'm going to abuse PlanetSide Universe again, because they have a thread here for it with at least 3 pages of posts already. This is Hama's original post, and it gives just his notes basically on what they talked about. Again, you can go watch the VOD of it on the PlanetSide Twitch, and then he notes that Taroko Kill made some pretty cool notes of his own. And I have my own notes that you can't see, my secret notes that I took during Clegg's segment. So this is, you can read through these. I'm not going to read through them, but I'm going to talk off of my own notes, essentially, about how I felt about it. The infill update, as you know, if you watch the stream or my videos, I play infill probably more than any other class right now. And while I say Light Assault is still my favorite class, infill is something I spend a lot of time playing, and I was very much looking forward to what they had in store for us with the infill update that we'll see soon. I think that in a nutshell they covered a lot of cool things, a lot of new things, but not necessarily a lot of things that directly impact my infill playstyle. Obviously, starting at the top, the decoy grenades, we have them already, but they're basically useless. I don't know if they're broken. I don't know if they just didn't work out properly, but they are never worth using right now, and they're trying to make them more useful by making them do what they're supposed to do, among other things, and simulate fire, both audio and mini-map dots, where you throw them. I don't really know that that's going to be worth doing with how little people, I believe, actually use the audio cues and the map cues to their advantage already, but, why not? If they can make them work, that would be great. Some people might find a play style, especially like with Stalker Cloak, which you see up here second, where they might come in handy. So the Stalker Cloak is basically going to be like a similar to a PlanetSide 1 cloak. It's my understanding that it's not completely, without a downside, that your cloak bar still drains when you're moving, but you can refill it by standing still. So if you're clever enough, you almost never have to uncloak, because you can just stand still to regen and then move again. So kind of going from cover to cover or whatever, I guess would be the idea there. And I was saying, I tweeted at them, and they made mention of it, but they're not sure exactly how it's going to work yet, that I thought that in order to be competitive, for my playstyle at least, it would need to be completely invisible when you're standing still, just like in PlanetSide 1 you were, because I can't see, obviously here, if you didn't know, you can't use a primary weapon, so you can't use a sniper rifle, you can't use a scout rifle, you can't use an SMG, you can only use your pistol and your utility items, basically anything else that doesn't fit in your primary slot. So that's a lot to give up, to just kind of do the commissioner, knife, assassin type of build. And if you're still visible, I feel like infiltrators are very, very easy to see. Not just on low settings, I don't even play on low, I play on medium, and I still find them very, very easy to see. So I think that that's giving up a whole lot of offensive capability to if you're not completely invisible when you're stopped. So that's my feeling on that. I don't see myself using it over Hunter Cloak with an SMG unless it really has a strong upside to it like that, and then sometimes maybe that'll be fun. So there's also motion sensors, which, if you're familiar with motion sensors in PlanetSide 1 or the tugs in Battlefield 3, anything like that, you place it down and it will continuously show up enemies on the map rather than pulsing like the sensor dart does. Now I don't know if it's going to take over the sensor dart spot, in which case it's probably a viable alternative. If it took over a different spot, which I'm not sure why it would, then I'd have to reconsider using it. I don't think I'd want to give up medkits for it or something like that, but it certainly could be used over the sensor dart if done properly, and I'd probably look into that, although it's not a huge difference, obviously. They were talking about maybe it has a timer on it or whatnot. All of the specifics aren't really ironed out yet, so we'll see what they do. Definitely give them feedback in this thread and on threads in the official forums and the test server when these things get to the test server and stuff like that as well. They also did a suit slot that shows explosives through walls that would take over, like Nanoweave, for instance. And while I die to anti-infantry mines a lot, I don't think that I would want to use that over Nanoweave personally, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how good it is. I feel like I'd rather trust my own awareness, even though I run into them a lot, than give up the extra HP, but we'll see. They did mention vehicle hacking. Wow, he really took these notes in the exact same order that I did. But they basically just said no plans right now. There's a whole lot required to support that, and I don't really know if it's worth that time investment, because you'd be giving up getting other features out sooner. So maybe on the back burner with the vehicle hacking. I know a lot of people are interested in hearing about that. Now, mine and Clegg's favorite thing about this is the straight pole bolt. Even though I hardly snipe, I always thought that there should be a straight pole bolt like the one that you have in Battlefield 3, to not have to unzoom your sniper rifle to cock the bolt back after you take each shot. So if you're unfamiliar with that, it just means that you could stay zoomed in for your 5 rounds or whatever's in your magazine. I think all of the bolt actions are 5 rounds, and shoot the 5 shots continuously without having to unzoom and rezoom and reacquire target. And I think that's a really good change. But they were talking about a downside to it, and I didn't really feel like it needed one. Maybe reload speed. On the actual reloading your 5 rounds after you're done shooting them, you could get away with that. But I think any other downside, and it just wouldn't be worth using, because I'd rather trust myself to right click, an extra couple of times to be faster. or to hold my breath longer, or if they tried to put any or other sort of downside on it artificially, I'd rather just use, trust my ability to do it manually at that point. So hopefully they don't impose anything too negative, because it's something that a lot of us have been looking forward to for a while, and I don't want it to come in with like some terrible downside that nobody wants to use it anyway, except for somebody who's just lazy or whatever. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully it's done well. And then the recon drone is going to be, we don't know. It can be a lot of things. Clegg said that they're bringing the rec back, which I assume means that over time it's going to have more things added to it, kind of like the ACE tool for combat NGs in PlanetSide 1. It looks like it's going to start with the recon drone, which can be a MAV from Battlefield or a UAV, that type of a thing, where you're vulnerable, your character's vulnerable, you bring this drone up and you're then controlling the drone, and it can get shot down, you can get shot up while you're, if you're not in a good spot or whatever. There could be a lot of restrictions on it. They don't know if there's going to be guns on it, spotting ability, all of that is waiting for more feedback and testing, I guess. It probably is going to have a time limit, or rather a range limit, maybe not a time limit, and maybe some deploy limitations so that you can't just put it in some inaccessible spot and then just fly around with it all the time. But we'll see. He also did say that there's new weapons coming, but he wasn't sure what. Just that in general, when they try to do class updates, they bring out new weapons for those classes as well. So I don't know if it's just going to be additional sniper rifles, or if the NSSMG is going to try to be paired with this. He did make mention of that and said that it was pretty much done, and we should expect to see the NSSMG in the next game update 12 or 13. So it sounds like that'll come sooner than this, but I don't know. New weapons, why not? Can't really complain there. The other stuff is just he touched a little bit on the Sunder, and said that they really are just not even really at the drawing board yet with the Sunder, because that's further off, but they were thinking about other deployable types, such as a offensive deployable like the Prowler deploy, or a motion sensor deployable where it becomes like a consistent motion sensor, or a dome shield type of deployable where you can not take damage from aircraft and things like that outside of it, or a cloak shield like the old AMS. But all of these things would take the deployable slot, so you wouldn't be able to have the cloak shield and the AMS, or the AMS and the dome shield, or whatever. It would be one or the other depending on how you wanted to do your Sunder. But that's still really far off, and they're looking for more feedback on that. So if you have anything to add, go for it. He also mentioned that he was pretty sure that the medic was coming next, but that's still going to be what, ESF first, then Infiltrator, then Sunder, then medic most likely. So that's still months down the road. But if you have any medic thoughts, why not? The ESF update, I think, is mostly done at this point. That should be in the next couple of game updates as well. And he didn't say a whole lot about it, but trying to just make air, the reason that, or the thing that deals with other air, and make pilots want to fight other aircraft when they're in the air as the primary role, rather than just farming ground targets and things like that. So through EXP rewards, like what they started to put in with the air superiority in GU11, and new A2A weapons, I kind of am a little bit scared about what that means. I don't really like air-to-air pods and the WASP and stuff like that. So I hope they don't get too out of control, and they kind of keep the skill involved in ESFs while still allowing newer players to get into dogfighting, because I'm not particularly good at it myself. That's probably my weakest suit, but I don't want them to make it too easy, as well as hit direction feedback improvement, like you see Taroko wrote down there. So you have a better idea where you're getting shot from and where your enemies are in relation to you and things like that. I think that's kind of it for Clegg's section. I feel like there's more that I wanted to say that I'm forgetting to say, but I don't know. They did mention melee weapons, and they talked pistols a little bit. The Empire-specific pistols are coming. We don't know when, but there's going to be the mag scatter for NC. I believe the VS are getting a spiker type of pistol. At least that was the original plan. And I believe the TR is getting an automatic type of pistol, which is going to be kind of dangerous. At least, again, that was the original plan, kind of like the AMP in PlanetSide 1. They also mentioned that melee weapons are a thing a lot of people are talking about, but kind of like the vehicle hacking, it's just an immense amount of time from multiple different departments, and that will likely get worked in at some point. Maybe a certain class receives it with their update or something like that, but no specific plans for additional melee weapons that are on the drawing board right now. And somebody mentioned prone, and they quickly denounced prone and said that you'll probably never see prone in the game, which I'm very happy about. I think that promotes all sorts of negative things that I don't like, so I hope to never see prone in PlanetSide. I hope to never see bipods in PlanetSide, because bipods are pretty much just as bad as prone to me. Anything that just promotes serious camping is not something that I'm a fan of, and not something that I ever use, and not something I hope to see in any game that I'm playing. So hopefully we'll keep those two things out of PlanetSide forever. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. This has probably gotten really long, but I wanted to give you guys a solid video if you missed any of these segments, especially the Battle Island segment or the future of weapons segment that Klaus or Clegg did, because I thought they were pretty informational over the past weekend, along with lots of other really awesome stuff. I enjoyed watching the interviews and the MLG halftime show and all of the 3 different outfits there, and everybody that got a chance to play and stuff like that. I hope to be able to make it out there for MLG Orlando. I think the chances are pretty good since it's on the same coast that I live on this time. So I have high hopes for that, and hopefully I'll be able to meet up with a lot of you guys and SOE peoples at MLG Orlando. And I'm still hoping for SOE Live, but that's not, I know it's getting closer and closer, but it's not set in stone yet for me. There's a lot of complications going on with that, unfortunately, but hoping for the best, that I at least able to get out there. I'm hoping Shandara is able to get out there as well, but she's having trouble getting off of work, so we'll see what we can do. As for this week, Shandara and I are both going to be out of town for the next few days. We'll be getting back this weekend, so it's actually most of the week. Many of you who watch the stream or watch the videos regularly already know that, and that's why I did the giveaway in the past, so that hopefully you guys get to use your station cash if you want it in the giveaway or anything like that. I'm really hoping that we see a triple or at least a double station cash for July 4th, and it looks pretty good. Maggie's hinted like 100 different times that there's going to be a double EXP at least for the July 4th and probably the weekend following it. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss at least half of that from being out of town, but you guys enjoy that, and definitely be in touch. I apologize that the stream will likely not be on for the next 5 days or so, unless I'm going to have my laptop with me, which is terrible. It's running like Windows Vista or something awful, and I doubt can really play much of anything worth watching unless I like throw on some indie games or something like that just for the lulz. I might do that if I find some time, but most likely the stream won't be up until either Saturday evening or definitely Sunday. I will be back and ready to get my fill of PlanetSide, hopefully still double EXP on Sunday, if not sooner. So you have that to look forward to. The videos are probably not going to happen almost all week. I'll probably do another video Monday, a week from today, for sure, if not sooner. We'll see, again, how it goes. I'm going to be busy. We're going to be out of town, so thank you guys for understanding that. I will still be streaming tonight, maybe doing a little bit of packing. I've been packing so much lately, but I will be streaming still tonight at ItZMuRdA.com or twitch.tv/ItZMuRdA_TV. So if you guys aren't in there right now listening to this and you're watching it on YouTube or whatever, do be sure to stop by, hit that follow button. I really do appreciate all your support there and here on YouTube, and on Twitter you can follow me as well, same as the YouTube handle, ItZMuRdAX. I will be on Twitter a lot when I'm out of town because it's real easy to just use the Twitter app on my mobile device and stay in touch with people and kind of get my fix and get my fill of PlanetSide through other people, through like the Twitch app and the Twitter apps and stuff like that. So be sure to be in touch via some means, whatever you find most preferable. And we'll see you soon. Have a good week, guys. Be in touch.